So Joe Mixon talked about us, and every time he talks about us, it's very, very negative. Yeah, he doesn't have a great opinion on us, and I don't blame him. I mean, we absolutely did this man as dirty as you can. We refused to cut him until a week into free agency, after everyone got paid, after everyone got their bread. Then we were like, oh yeah, we're going to cut you now, and you're not going to be able to go anywhere. And I truly believe, knowing the front office, how this went down is they thought if we cut him a week into free agency, nobody would pick him up. Because everyone already paid the running backs and paid the free agents they wanted to pay. So they thought, okay, we cut him, he goes to free agency, then we're going to offer him a contract that's less money than we were already paying him, and then he will say yes because he has to, and we'll get him back for cheaper. But then the Texans came around and said, hey, listen, we'll give you a 7th round draft pick, and we already know Duke Tobin is absolutely just any kind of draft pick period he loves. He loves draft picks. Nonetheless, since he left, they asked him about us, and his response was pretty much plain and clear. He says, forget him. Forget him. I don't want to think about my time in Cincinnati. I don't want to think about Cincinnati at all. And again, with how dirty we did him, there's no bone in my body that could say I blame the guy. We did him very dirty in the end. You know, we could have cut him, like, let's say roughly 2 weeks before free agency. A week before free agency, gave him time to talk to other teams, figure out another situation to go to. But instead we said, nope, 7 years here, and we're just going to cut you a week after free agency, so you get no money. It was, again, a really mess up situation. And he does not like us. Anyway, so what do you got to say? He said, I appreciate my time there. Lot nicer than last time he spoke of us, but last time he spoke of us was the beginning of the season, so he did have some time to kind of calm down and relax and, think about things. But he said when it came down to it, it was an unfortunate situation where things changed a little bit. And obviously they had them fake, but beat report writers there. I don't care. I'm not there anymore. When it comes down to it, my teammates knows what it is. When it comes down to it, I'm going to do what coach wants me to do. But at the same time, I'm going to play football. That's just what it is. You're not going to turn me into a robot. You're not going to turn me into a person. That's not what I do. One thing I appreciate is Houston, is that they utilize my skill set. I've always been a threat in the passing game. One thing about here is they give me my screens. They give me my choices. They give me my flat routes that I can take. They give me all types of combinations. They utilize me. It's ironically enough, right? The reason why we got rid of him, we potentially try to get rid of him, the guy can't pass block. Okay, that's just the fact of the matter is. I still think we did him dirty. I think we did him in a very incorrect manner. But at the end of the day, the reason why he's not on this team and he was cut in the beginning, other than maybe we would sign him back for cheaper, but it's because he can't pass block. We already know, and the point of this quote right here, the last quote, is to say that we didn't utilize him correctly. Zach Taylor didn't utilize him correctly. And I feel like to a certain degree that is absolutely correct and true, right? But again, you look at yesterday. Titans played the Texans. CJ Stroud kept getting sacked left, right, and center every single drive, it felt like. Joe Mixon was out there, but he's not a pass blocker. He's not. And, the problem is we don't want to fix our offensive line, or we want to, but we don't want to fix the real issue, which is Frank Pollock and the coaching staff. We don't want to fix that. We'll spend a lot of money on Orlando Brown, a lot of money, or first-round draft pick on Amarius Mims, Trent Brown, but we don't want to fix the fundamental issue because, rinse, cycle, repeat, right? Point is, he's not a pass blocker. So we got Zach Moss, who's a pass blocker. And it sucks. It really does. And I know Joe Mixon was very successful with us. And he was. But at the end of the day, we can only do what we can do here. And what they tried to do was get Zach Moss, who would be an extra offensive lineman in the backfield, and block. And give Joe more time to throw the ball. And hope that works out. And yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it's a really messed up situation. And I'm happy Houston is utilizing him a lot. And he's doing very well in Houston. Shout out to him for that. But you can see how many times CJ Stroud gets sacked. And the facts are, if Zach Moss was in Houston, and he wasn't hurt, obviously, CJ Stroud would get sacked a lot less. They would be able to utilize Zach Moss in the run game. Or in the passing game as well as the run game. But they would be able to use him as a pass blocker. And Joe Mixon is not a pass blocker. He's an in-between tackles type of guy. And he can catch the ball in the backfield. And the fact is, that's just how it works, right? And again, I really hate how the situation ended with Joe Mixon. But the fact we weren't utilizing him because he cannot run the type of offense. If we had a good offensive line and Frank Polk was fired and we got a good offensive line coach and we really focused on that and fixed that, Joe Mixon would be the perfect back for us. He would be the perfect running back period for us. But because we are continuously failing to upgrade and fix the fundamentals of this team, we can't afford to have a guy on the field who can't pass block. I mean, we got to protect Joe Burrow. And that's pretty much the summary of everything. So, again, I hate how the situation ended with, Joe Mixon. And I wish it didn't end the way it did. It's kind of funny. It's the second running back now that Joe Mixon and Corey Dillon, where it ended in a very hostile, very negative way. But I still believe, to the heart of my heart, the reason why they did him so dirty was they were trying to pretty much, well, again, doing him even more dirty here. They were trying to pin him against the wall and say, hey, listen, you don't have any options. You're going to have to come back to Cincinnati, but you're going to have to take a lot less money after he already took a pay cut. And I think they were trying to corner him, and, Houston was a safety valve, and Duke Tobin loves his draft picks. So it is what it is at the end of the day. I do wish Joe Mixon the best of luck, and I'm very happy that he is successful in Houston, and I hope he continues his success down the line. Sometimes it just doesn't work out with different places. And sometimes situations just are negative and blah, 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 things happen, right? So tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.